Hi, and welcome to my videos. My name is Michael. I'm going to try to teach you guys guitar, wherever you may be. Okay, disclaimer, I'm not a professional guitar teacher. Alright, I'm just a guitar enthusiast, but I do teach some friends on and off guitar, so I figured, yeah, might as well just make this kind of like my personal project. So there you go. So anyway, yeah, we're going to start off with the basics of guitar. This is the first of 20 videos, plus minus, give or take. So for today, I'm going to run through the basics, what a guitar is and whatnot. Okay, so this is your standard guitar, right? Nothing special about it. So this is what you call an acoustic guitar. Now you can identify an acoustic guitar based on this. Okay, I'm just gonna view down so you won't have to see my face. Right, so if you excuse my poor choice of clothing, right, this is an acoustic guitar. Right, it's metal. Right, the strings are metal. So this is how you identify really difference between an acoustic and a classical, which I will show you in a bit. An acoustic guitar, it has metal strings and it looks like this. It's kind of like those modern guitars, a bit funky and all that. That's why it's not a classical, right? So okay, I'll go into the rest later. This is an acoustic guitar. Sorry, a classical guitar rather. Right, shape is usually like this, but the most defining feature of classical guitar is the string. The string, if you can see here, right, it's thicker and it's nylon. See, it's not metal, right? So here, right, it's a little different compared to an acoustic, which is like this. Alright, I won't tell you why, but if you're interested, go and Google it. And of course the head is also arranged differently as opposed to this. There you go. So this is a classical, and also the fret is, or rather the neck is significantly thicker because this is nylon, so they vibrate wider. So you have to accommodate for the extra size. Why do people play? Okay, before that, I suppose I have to address the glaring white elephant. I lost the string here because it broke, and I don't play my classical very often anymore, so that's why I don't see a string here. It's supposed to have another brass string over here, or a brown, this bass type string, not a nylon string. Alright, just to get out of the way. Okay, why do people prefer classical? Some prefer acoustic. Classical is kind of like for the most Spanish songs, Spanish-East kind of songs, are kind of a classical tone or something like that. I won't go into the big differences between acoustic and classical, but basically the sound for classical is softer. Right? It's not as sharp as a metal string, which is used in acoustic. Also, it doesn't hurt the finger so much. Right? So if you haven't bought your guitar yet, I would suggest that you go to your nearest guitar shop and test out an acoustic and a acoustic and a classical to determine which one you prefer. If you just want a guitar, to play around and try to impress some chicks, get an acoustic. Okay, so that's that. And just for information, this is a ukulele, right? If you want to see it like that, yep. Okay, this is like a mini guitar, but it's not really a mini guitar, it's a uke in its own right. Some call it a uke, for short form instead of ukulele, right, 4 syllables. Uke, some call it uke, but doesn't matter. Right, it looks very similar to an acoustic guitar. It has nylon-ish string, yeah, there you go. So it sounds like that. There are two types of a uke, two types of ukuleles basically. This is the G. I'll teach you the notes, A, B, C, D, E and all that later on. Basically this is what I use a low G guitar, low G ukulele. This string, right, is a G. So it's low to high. Now most uke players prefer high G, which this note is actually a thinner string of this, so it sounds kind of like high G guitar sounds like this. High G ukulele, sorry, it sounds like this. Instead of, why? Because it's a ukulele, you know, it sounds high as opposed to. So you have the bass and the treble, but high G uke has all treble, so it's a very, you know, Hawaiian kind of feel to it. So that's a ukulele. So go and have fun. You know, this, for your information, is called a tenor ukulele. There are 4 types of ukuleles, 4 different sizes. Let me see if I can remember them. So I think there's a concert, alto, tenor, and baritone. So the concert one is really small and the tone is really high, so it goes downwards that way. Accessories, right, so if you are like me, I prefer an acoustic guitar, and so since these are metal, right, metal tends to, you know, tarnish and rust and all that, so it would be very much recommended for you to get a string cleaner polisher, string cleaner and conditioner, Ultra Glide 65. Yeah, it's pretty much what everyone uses, so, you know, I don't get paid by Dunlop, so yeah. This one, you know, it's pretty simple. Just polish it, take a tissue, wipe it off, you're done. Okay, that's one. Secondly, get a tuner. Now there are a lot of tuners out there in the market. Mostly people use, or rather most people buy electronic tuners now. There are a lot of them in the market. Most of them in fact come pre-installed with a metronome, which is a timer, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. You know, it gives you the time according to how fast or how slow you want it. So this is what I got myself many years ago. This is a manual guitar tuner. Yes, let me play. Yeah. So you get it? So there's 6 here corresponding to 6 strings, so that's how you tune your guitar. So it doesn't matter whether you use a manual tuner or an auto tuner, not auto tuner but rather a digital tuner, right? Doesn't matter as long as you get one, or you can just use a tuner from the web, which I will include links somewhere in this page or in the description or something like that. Anyway, now of course you have your pick. This is technically called a plectrum, right? But most people, including myself, we refer to this as a pick. Okay, since you're on this topic, you hold a pick this way, okay, parallel. So it's kind of like, you know, you hold it this way. Your thumb and index finger, I believe you call it. Yeah, like that. So when you hold it here, see, like that. You can see from the top, it looks like that. Now when you strum, it's not, okay, it has to be a mixture of flexibility and firmness. A lot of people strum wrongly this way, which is not technically wrong depending on what style you're playing, but for all intents and purposes as a beginner, no, this is not the way to play, and this is not the way to play as well. You see, now I did this way, which is too much wrist turning. The other one would be this way, where it's only my arm, right? The elbow is moving but not the wrist. It should be kind of like a smooth combination. If you can see, I'll slow it down. So when you hold a pick, it's not supposed to be like death grip, you know, die hard. You know, it's not. It has to be firm enough that so that when you strum, you know, the pick doesn't fly off, but it should be flexible enough so that, you know, there's that, you know, that kind of looseness here. So okay, so you have that kind of like that smooth flow, right? So if you play badminton, I suppose you can liken it to a proper backhand kind of thing. You know, you don't only use your wrist, you don't only use your elbow, but you use a combination. So it's kind of the same concept here. Okay, so that's the pick. Get it right? Please don't hold a pick this way. Not you know, I don't know, some people just hold a pick weird, so just do it this way, right? See, 1, 2, parallel. The top part of your thumb corresponds with the top part of your index finger, not like that, you know, not too far down, not like that. This, get it right the first time, you'll never have to correct it again. Right? So that's a pick. Now this is something that's quite uncommon. Okay, let's try to see the white background. Now this here is what we call a thumb pick. If you can see, yeah. Okay, this goes into your right thumb. See, let's see, kind of like that. So when you play, you can either play it like a, you can play it like a normal pick, but what we really use this for is to play if you watch Chet Atkins, Tommy Emmanuel, Doyle Dykes, people like that, you know, the thumb is thumb pick rather, they use this to kind of play two melodies at the same time. It's like the bass plus treble, right? So it's sharper and it's not as blunt as using your own finger. So I won't go into this because I don't use this much myself, but if you want to know more about thumb picks, go watch more Tommy Emmanuel or Chet Atkins. Fantastic use of this. So this is a thumb pick, right? Now this is a very useful, very nifty little accessory that everyone should have. This assists in how should I say, when you change your strings, right? You see this over here, right? It's the extras are roll, and then you tighten it. It can be very tedious to tighten it one by one, turn. You can go up to 100 times. So this, you slot it in, and you just turn. It only costs like what, $5-10. Get it, buy it. You never have to think about the dread of changing your strings. So all guitar players know this. Okay, so yeah, get one. And this one last thing is called a capo, C-A-P-O. Right, there are lots of shapes to this. Some, you know, some look like this, where you wrap it around the guitar and you lock it. Another type, or rather the more commonly used these days, are kind of like grips. Kind of like just grips like that, like that. It doesn't like this locks around. Those grip like that. You know, like your for your arm exercises, the little arm grips, looks very similar to that. So these cost somewhere between 15 to 30-40 bucks ringgit. Yeah, all my numbers are in ringgit Malaysia because I stay in Malaysia, excuse me. So yeah, this capo is used kind of, okay, I wouldn't say cheating, right? But okay, like sometimes you want to play a bit higher, just like, you know, this is a G, and this is an E. Okay, so you notice this thing over here, it kind of cuts off. Right, so if you were to bring it up here, you can imagine this being pushed up here, and I'll play this key, this chord, which is called a G. Sometimes I want to play the whole song in G, but in a higher key and with a different fingering. So that's when a capo comes in really easy, because like I can lock it here. Then I can do this. See, it's easier for me because I won't have to press like this again. Okay, so that's what a capo is for. It's to push it over to the top. There are lots of uses for a capo. You don't have to buy one, but eventually it'll be fun to have one because you get to do some other fun stuff higher up the fret without having to always, you know, compensate for the closed strings or open strings. So there you have it. You have we just ran through what guitars are there in the market, like basic accessories. Get this for your acoustic guitar. It's a string cleaner, right? Every guitar shop would probably have this, and a pick. Okay, these are your two most crucial ones. Actually, you don't really need the string cleaner, but I would highly recommend that you get it. So yeah, these two. Now on to picks. Pick thickness. This is something that most people don't really explain. Why why do you use a thin pick, why do you use a thick pick, what's in the middle, and so on and so forth. It's actually quite self-explanatory, right? A thin pick would be very flexible, and so it's easier to strum stuff. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's easier to strum, right? And some people just like it that way. Thin picks range from 0.5 mm, I believe. No, not 0.5 something. It's it's just 0.5, right? Yeah, that's strumming, but it will be quite soft. So personally, I like 0.7. For hard picks like 0.0, after 0.7, maybe 1.0, right? That's for like plucking, when you really need to go fast and need the firmness. So 1.0 is for that. I go for 0.7 because it gives me the flexibility to both pluck and strum at the same time. So that's big. Let me see. Okay, what else do I need? Position, posture. Now, position first. Guitar. If you're right-hander, of course, it goes. This little wedge here is meant for putting your guitar, and that's how you hold your guitar. Right hand here. I suppose if you were a left-hander, you would do it like kind of like this, right? So it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, posture. Okay, seen from the top, right? Let's try to get that. Now, that's your posture. Your position should be somewhere around here. Most guitars will have a hole there, so your hand should be somewhere around this area. Since we're on this note, this is the normal place to strum. If you strum it here higher up, it will produce a warm sound, as opposed to, see, this is clearer, brighter. And over here, about here, you shouldn't go any further than this, right? This is kind of a sharp sound. If you go any further than here, then you kind of it's too sharp and too soft, right? So unless you want something really bright, then you do this. So that's posture. String numbering. So just to let you know, enough of that view. There we go. Now, string numbering is upwards, not downwards. So this is your first string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not the other way around. Okay. So all forms of numbering and all that, when you refer to the first string or the fourth string, this way. Your fourth string is here, right? So there's that. Tuning. Your normal, we call it a standard guitar tuning. Alright, right there. Alright, this is called standard guitar tuning. It's EBGDAE. Okay. This is an E, B, G, D, A, and back to E. Now, why am I bringing this up now? Because you would think that all guitars sound like this. No, they don't. There are lots and lots of tuning types in I won't call it industry. It's not a market, but in the guitar community today, lots of songs are written for standard. Lots of songs are also written for other tunings. We call it alternate tunings. There's some that it's getting a lot of attention right now. Is DADGAD. You can play all sorts of funky songs and they just sound different, sometimes very nicely. So those are alternate tunings which I won't go into. Okay, it's your standard tuning. And yeah. And to conclude my first lesson, my intro to guitar, which seems to be stretching into the 20-minute zone. I can be a bit long-winded at times, sorry about that. Okay, tuning a guitar. The easiest way to do it, get a tuner and follow the sound it makes, right? Like this just now. Or get a digital one, you have that beep, and you just follow. beep, yeah, da da da. So you just follow and all that. Now what happens if you don't have a tuner at hand? Well, if you have a smartphone, you should be able to just download the tuner app, so that's one. But anyway, here's the old school way of tuning a guitar. Just to know, you start off in an E, right? You need to know at least one of them, right? E, and you tune each one of them relative to this string. So this is useful when you just want to play guitar. You just taken out your guitar out of the bag, and you know, the bag kind of screws up your tuning here and there, and you don't need to play exactly according to EBGDAE. You know, it can be a little off, as in, okay, never mind, we won't go into that. But yeah, you know, if you're not performing, things like that, it doesn't have to be absolutely accurately E, right? This is how you do it. Notice these two are the same. Yeah, this way. So let me move the camera a bit. Okay, these are the 5th fret. Oh, before that, I forgot. These are called frets. This thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are called frets. You start off here. This is the 1st fret, or this is fret 0. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. These dots basically help you as a guitarist refer on or identify your frets really fast, really easily. So this is always at the 5th, 1 dot, 5th, 7, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 17. Obviously you can see that I don't use these two so much since I need to count, but yeah, 12, 9, 7, 5. So it's easy when you want to play certain chords, whatever it is, so you can refer to this really fast. Most times you have it here as well, you know, at the top of your neck. So these are frets, strings, upwards. This thing here is called the neck, 12th fret. Yeah. So where will we? Tuning, right? So this is at the 5th, assuming your guitar goes a bit out of tune, right? Okay, you can hear it sounds really terrible. Let's say, you know, I just played around this just now, so it sounds really weird. So assuming you have this correct, right? You should be able to hear that it's different. It sounds horrible. So what you do is you tune this here to equalize it with this. So you can see that this one is wrong. It's too low, right? So you raise it. Okay. So now you have both of them correct. Then you refer. You tune the next string, the 3rd string, based on your 2nd string, which you just tuned. Okay. Now they are different again. So what you do is, okay, then you do the next. Okay, so you can tune all of them according to this. Personally, I wouldn't use this. I have a better way of tuning, but I'll introduce that to you sometime later. Actually, I already have it on YouTube, but I will reintroduce it to you later in my series. Okay, so that's tuning. To refresh, okay, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5. That's it. 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 5, and 5. Yep, that's all there is to tuning a guitar. So standard guitar tuning, we've covered lots of stuff today. Types of guitars, what to buy as your accessories, how to hold your guitar, how to hold your pick, tuning, posture, stuff. So I hope you stayed to the end. Thanks for staying. And if you like this, please tell me and encourage me, I suppose. Right, I won't be wasting your time anymore. We'll continue this in the 2nd lesson. Thanks for hearing me out. Bye. See you again.